Hey, look at me 2 days in a row here with you. So listen, today I kind of want to piggyback on what we were talking about yesterday about acceptance. On the things that you cannot control, that's the uncertainty, right? It's the acceptance, going back to that, go there. And the acceptance piece of knowing that uncertainty is supposed to be a part of the human life, right? You're not supposed to know everything. You're not supposed to know that if you do this, it's going to work out. That's a trauma response. That's your anxiety. That's all these things that get kicked up, right? As a baby, you're not walking around carrying that anxiety. It's a trauma response or a learned behavior or just a lot of things that come into play. So regardless, going back to what I said yesterday, regardless if you want to accept it or not, it's a fact that things are supposed to be uncertain, okay? They are supposed to be. Not everything is you're supposed to know. So here's a little exercise I want you to do. I told you he loves, okay, there's your people. Say hello to everybody. Say hi. Say, my name's Ezra. Is he not like the cutest thing ever? Go ahead, go get her. But so here's what I want you to do. Get yourself a piece of paper. It could be a binder, it could be anything. And I want you to write down some things that you are really stressed about. I don't mean people, I'm talking about within yourself. Like, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of death? Are you afraid of health? Are you afraid of whatever it is this phobia is of yours? I want you to write it down. Pen to pad, don't do this in your head, right? And then what I want you to do is I want you to say, okay, where can I not accept it? Because let's say it's death, that which is thanatophobia. And I say it differently than everybody else, but that's my pronunciation of it. And what thanatophobia is, it's the fear of death. And that's where ego integrity comes into play, where you have to accept that. If you struggle with that, let me know down here in the comments and we'll cover that at a different time to go into that specifically. But I want you to write it down and then I want you to say, okay. So don't judge it. Don't say, why am I feeling this way? Just write it down. Your feelings are not facts, but they're perceptions for you and they matter. So no one has to validate them but you. So you're going to write all that down. And then what I want you to do is I want you to say, okay, can I do anything about it? Like, take your emotion out of it for a minute and analyze it like you would if you were reading a book, somebody else's story. Say, okay, is there anything I can do about this at this moment? And it might be yes. Great. Then what can you do? Can you try to prolong life, right? Can you try to eat healthier? Can you live healthier? Sure, you can do those things. Don't go extreme though. We don't do black and white. So go gray, somewhere in the 50 shades. And so sure, you can do things to prolong things and try to do a quality of life. But at the end of the day, you're not going to control the actual narrative. So when you come down to something that you're like, okay, I have no control over it, like somebody's decisions or somebody's choices, or the uncertainty of what the job market's going to be or the housing market. Like when you come to that realization, I have no idea what's happening here. When you come, he's playing with a toy. It's like he wants to be the spotlight. But when you come to that realization and the acceptance of that, it's going to make it a little bit easier in your life. What are we playing with? I wanted to see what all the hoopla was about. I mean, I guess it was fun. He seems to like it. So that's kind of like where to start, right? Don't worry about how much, if it's bringing you anxiety and stuff, I want you to write that in one of your journals. And where the resistance is in accepting it, because the clear part of that is, regardless if you want to resist it and you want to change it, it just can't. Some things are just not going to happen. And the uncertain aspect of it is you have to realize that when you get comfortable with the uncertainty and the not knowing and the what ifs, that's where you will grow and that's where you'll live your life. So start there. Holler at you tomorrow.